Good evening, everybody. It's 9:30 on the East Coast, 6:30 on the West Coast on a Monday. That must mean it's time for your soon-to-be weekly again Calamity Jane live stream. James, how are you doing on this chilly winter evening?
I am doing okay. Not so chilly here on my side, but I know in the rest of the parts of the country there is plenty of that.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's nice and cold here. I'm
yeah,
enjoying it.
yeah. Oh, okay. Me, I hate cold, so
Oh,
I
oh
don't.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was like I say, I don't envy your situation at all. But hey, if you enjoy cold, by all means,
yeah,
enjoy away.
yeah.
You
Big
know.
fan, big
Um,
fan.
yeah. So anybody who happens to come across the stream, welcome. This is where Eric and I we hang out, and work on our cartoon together. Eric's our writer, and I'm the animator, and we hang out while I animate, and then Eric and I talk pop culture stuff for the most part, like
Yeah,
games, movies, TV stuff, whatever. So I guess we'll kind of get back into the groove of things and keep on going. I guess, huh?
yeah. That sounds good. Yeah, I been remarkably busy, or sick, or both, the last several
Yeah.
months, and things are finally starting to calm down a little bit. I mean, in a couple of months, I've got another trip for work, but then after that, I will be pretty much status quo for the foreseeable future. But at least for the
And
next 2 months, my schedule's going to be pretty normal.
yeah, I think for me it'll be the same pretty much. As a same with you, I was traveling too for the holidays and then trying to get settled back in, and then got sick as well. But it just kind of happened to coincide with you being out of town or whatever too, so it kind of worked out.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm going to share my screen mode, and I'll start kind of picking up where we kind of left off last year, even though it was a couple
Last
weeks ago.
year. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
Weird to believe it's 2026 now.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. Um, so this is where Calamity's getting introduced to Vittles for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of established Calamity getting the vittles, and now she's about to eat some.
Okay.
So I have the sketch for her doing that. It's pretty simple posing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so I have some of the assets here already built, ready to go. So I'll be kind of building that out and trying to do really quick keyframing animation stuff. The keyframe here, and then the keyframe where she eats stuff, and then kind of go from there. So
Okay.
that's the evil plan for tonight. Yeah.
Okay. Well, um, it's been what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks since our last stream.
According to my updating on my on the Instagram feed and stuff like that, I think we didn't. I don't know. Did we talk once since the New Year, or is this our first New Year official stream where we're starting off? I can't remember
I
now.
think this might be our second official New Year's
Second one.
stream. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
So then,
yeah. Oh
if
no,
that's the
no,
case,
it
then yeah.
wasn't. No, it's not. No, it's not because the fifth was the first Monday in January, and I was getting on a plane on the fifth. So we haven't
Mm-hmm.
we haven't spoken since December.
Okay. So happy belated New Year.
Happy belated New Year. Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
a thing.
So
Yeah, how's your
yeah.
2026 going so far? Now that we're about halfway through January.
Okay. Again, just being sick and stuff like that, but okay. Just kind of getting underway with
Mhm.
stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it sounds like yours was the same pretty much. And
Yeah, yeah, it was productive. I mean, lots of traveling, which is not that's not a complaint by any stretch of the imagination.
mhm.
The complaint is the fact that I seem to be sick. If I wasn't traveling, I was sick.
Yeah,
And in fact, I've got some sort of weird congestion going on right now that I can't seem to shake. I feel fine otherwise, except for my nose and sinuses are just, a dumpster fire right now. So,
yeah,
so I don't know. One thing, if it's not one thing, it's another. But that's all right. I'm glad that I'm otherwise feeling fine. So I'll take what you can get. But
cool.
yeah, I mean, but speaking of travel, I went to Hawaii first week in January, which was great. One of the things that I did was it's a really long flight, 9.5 hours going, a little under 9 hours coming back.
Mhm.
And I bought this game called Xenoblade Chronicles X. It's a an offshoot game of that franchise, which I've talked about at length off and on this stream. Um, it is the perfect airplane game because it is mindless for the most part, and you just go through one quest after another, and you just it's checkbox the game for the most part, but
Hmm.
it's got an incredible world to explore. The exploration is very fun. The world is like very, very populated with things. It's not empty like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom feels.
Hmm.
um it's just yeah, I mean, it's a fun game. I mean, I spent nearly 20 hours uh in that on that trip, just playing that game. So it originally came out on the Wii U over a decade ago, and they re-released it for the Switch last year, early last year. And I played it for a bit, and then got distracted by other things, as happens, and then finally came back to it. And now I'm like right at the end game, and I'm trying to decide whether or not I care enough to finish it, because as happens sometimes with JRPGs, the I don't know why the design philosophy for Japanese developers are, let's make the final section of the game 10 times harder than the other sections. But this
Yeah.
game is particularly egregious, uh a particularly egregious example of that.
Hmm.
So I really, to make it to the end of the game, I think the minimum level I really need to be at is level 50.
Okay.
And I'm level 46 right now. So it's like 4 levels, but leveling up is very, very slow in this game. So
So is it tedious slow, meaning it's just literally like grinding, the definition of grinding?
yeah, it's straight up grind. It's just,
Okay.
that's literally it. And if I had another plane trip, then it would be perfect, right? To just kind of, and I do in March. So I might, I've moved on to the new Animal Crossing stuff, which we can talk about as well. But
Hmm. Hmm.
I'll probably save it for when I'm flying up to Boston in March, um, and then just, yeah, knock it out that way, and then get to the end, because they did add like some new story content once you beat the main game, which you can't get
Hmm.
access to until you beat the main game. So, um, but interestingly, I never finished it. It's the only of the Xenoblade Chronicles games that I didn't finish,
Hmm.
and it was specifically for that reason, but also a lot of other weird design choices that they made that aren't really worth going into, because the mechanics are so esoteric and um, filled with jargon that it really wouldn't mean anything to to talk about it at any length.
Hmm.
But suffice it to say, there's a ton of ideas that half worked or didn't work, and the team at Monolith Soft definitely learned from their experience putting together Xenoblade Chronicles X. And it's funny going back and playing it again now, and seeing how those ideas were either evolved or just outright dropped based on the lessons that they learned from that game. And it's actually really gratifying to see that they were paying attention to what was working and what didn't work. And I think Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 3 were as good as they were in no small part because of the discoveries that they made on Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Hmm.
So if only for that reason, it's a pretty valuable game to play if you're into that sort of
Um,
thing.
so and again, this game follows the tradition of many Wii U style games, whatever, that come from the Wii U and get ported over to the Switch, and now Switch 2 doing
Yeah,
the same pattern with Switch 2.
yeah.
So it's funny because I was meaning to ask you about this one too. Is I think I was playing Dragon Warrior 11 or whatever it's called,
Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest 11. Yeah, where
Okay,
I'll tell you the story, the setup, and then you can tell me which one it is. But
okay.
this is based on your recommend. I started playing it on the plane. It's a plane game.
Yeah,
Um, it's you start out, of course, you're the hero, and you have your
yep,
childhood friend
yeah.
in a village, and is that 11
That's 11.
already? That's 11. Okay,
Yeah,
so I started playing that one, and it's great so far.
the
I've
hero's in a
barely
purple tunic.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's 11,
yeah,
and he's got gray hair.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, actually, no. I think it might have purple hair, like a little bob cut purple hair
Well, he does
thing.
have a bob
Maybe.
cut.
So
I
maybe it's gray. I
yeah, I
don't
don't
know. It's been a
remember.
while.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
anyway,
yeah. But you go around, and then I think even the dog helps you at the very beginning. I
yeah,
think to help you fight some. So yeah, I figured jogging your memory, you'd know which one it
yeah,
is
yeah,
because I know
yeah.
you told me it was it Dragon Quest 7 and 11 that are the ones to play. I
8
think
and
is what you told me.
11. 8 and
8 and
11
11.
are my
Okay.
two favorites. Yeah.
All right. But this is a really long, windy way of talking about how we get ports now from older games and even 3DS. But aren't they doing a Dragon Quest port again? Is it 7 that they're doing?
They're doing 7. I am looking forward to it. 7 is in
Okay.
my top 5 for sure of the
Okay.
Dragon Quest games.
All
It
right.
might actually be my third favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Um uh it's it's I mean the game is in the original game is interminably long. It's like 200 hours minimum, like if you're rushing through it. Like that's just how sprawling the game is. And the remake, the game director who was the original game director on the game, or at least worked on it, I can't remember. Anyway, when they started working on the remake, they one of their design philosophies was let's trim the fat. And so
Okay.
in this remake they've spent a lot of time working to um like for instance, I think the most classic example of how bloated Final Dragon Quest 7 was is that you play the game for over an hour before you do your first battle.
Oh my word! I don't know if I'd have the patience
Yeah,
anymore for that.
exactly. It's that kind of
Wow.
thing that when they started working on the remake, they wanted to correct, right?
Okay. All right.
And so the game is trimmed down. They've cut entire storylines out of the game that didn't really have any bearing on the main narrative. They've retooled some of the character story arcs, but they've also added in like a new epilogue as well for one of the characters. But um, once you can get into the game and sort of get past a lot of the sprawl that slows it down, Final Fantasy
Mm-hmm.
VII is great. The world is awesome. It's got a time traveling aspect to it, similar to Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the characters are super fun. I love the art style. Um, yeah, so uh, 7 is quite good, and so it comes out in a couple of days, actually, I think.
Okay.
There's a
Mm-hmm.
demo out on Switch 2 and PC and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I downloaded it. I haven't played it yet, um but yeah, I mean it's 7 is definitely a good one, and I think that this one will be definitely worth playing, especially given the interviews about the design refactors that they've been doing with it.
So now we have so based on what you've told me, so 7, 8, and 11 are all the three of the main ones to play, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
4 is extremely good from the storyline standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And 6 has some really I think it's 6 has some really interesting story ideas as well. But in terms of the games that hooked me for the longest, it was probably 7, 8, and 11.
Okay. Yeah. That's why I think I remember you telling me that, and like I said, I have a couple. I think I have one on the Switch. Obviously, it's 11, I guess.
Yeah.
And then 8, I think I have on my 3DS.
Yep.
And then, but now I'm starting to wonder again. The same thing with a lot of these games. They're getting ported to the Switch too. So then now do I wait and just wait for them all to get ported over, or or just play them natively? It's the same old question I think that probably a lot of purist gamers talk about. Play it on the original system or play it updated. I don't know.
I
I'm
mean,
kind of torn.
you're not wrong. I mean, they redid Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 and their HD 2D graphic style, and
Hmm.
those have gotten rave reviews. Um, People really dig those.
Hmm.
Um, then obviously the 7 remake, I'm looking forward to. And yeah, you're right. I mean, if any of the Dragon Quest games, I'd say the two other ones that are the most ripe for a re-release or remaster or whatever are 4 and 8.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it strikes me that 8 is far more contemporary than 4 is. Uh,
Hmm.
And so I would imagine that 8 would probably be the next one to get a remake if they were going to do a remake. So yeah, I see your point. I will say that 8 on the 3DS is remarkably good. The fact that they've
Yeah.
managed to put a PS2 game on the 3DS is remarkable. And
Hmm.
the 3DS game has like a whole bunch of new content that is only available on that platform.
Okay.
And I don't know if they did a remake if they would carry it over or not.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
obviously visually you take a hit playing on the 3DS, but the gameplay is fundamentally unchanged and all of the content is there. And yeah, I mean 8 is a masterpiece in my opinion. Maybe if not the greatest JRPG of all time, one of the greatest.
And I know I've asked you this before, but I started out playing Dragon Warrior 1, 2, and I think even 3.
Yeah.
Did it become Dragon Quest later?
It was always Dragon Quest in Japan,
Okay. All
but in
right.
the early days of uh, localization, there were all of these biases about what Americans would find appealing in terms of titles and artwork, box art, and things like that. And so
Yeah.
there was a lot of name changing that went on in that era.
Okay.
And so when they localized Dragon Quest to the States, they changed it from Dragon Quest to Dragon Warrior because they thought that a
It'd
Dragon
sell more.
Quest wasn't a quest isn't as appealing to Americans as warriors are.
Okay. Yeah. And that was my, yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like I know I played these before. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I thought I played the old school one. I just couldn't remember. Can never keep the track of the names anymore. But yeah. Anyways, I mean, the first couple were great. They were fine, but they're definitely, that's the dawn of time RPG type of
Oh
stuff.
yeah. Oh
What's
yeah.
going on there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it is still fun to kind of see them get reimagined, and that's where it is kind of, it is a remaster isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's kind of gives you a chance to scratch that itch once again and kind of have that sentimental or nostalgic feel while getting a new interpretation of it. Sometimes they can be done badly, but the remakes I played, it's like even compared to like if we want to recap games for remakes, I played Resident Evil 4 remake
Yeah.
and I enjoyed it. I thought it
Yeah.
was great. But I still have a fond memory of the original one too. And I even watched a couple of playthroughs from the original one, and I mean they've when they say remastered, they've just redone other stuff that I don't even
Right.
remember being in the original. So it's almost like playing a different version of the game or something else where you're playing it again new, but not. And that's where it's kind of confusing with the remake. Whereas Metroid Prime, for example, I think was a pretty faithful
Yeah.
translation, right? They didn't
Yeah.
really depart
It
from
was
the
a
core
nearly
game
one-to-one translation, yeah.
because it's a near perfect game. I mean, why would you want to depart from it? Yeah. But again, Resident Evil 4 I thought was a perfect game. I know you and I disagree on this one. You didn't like Resident Evil 4 as much. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I thought there was no need to even make it again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I've come around to this style of remakes where they basically strip everything down to the world and the characters that inhabit
mhm,
the world and then make an entirely new game built around the story of the original game. Like Final Fantasy 7 remake I think is probably the prototypical example of that, how the characters are the same, the world is the same, the story is the same, but that's it. The visuals are completely different. They have voice acting. The combat system is fundamentally changed. Like everything is different, um, other than those kind of core tenets that are a holdover from that original experience. And at first, I'm like, well, this isn't really a remake. Then why don't you just make a new game?
mhm,
But I don't know. I played the demo of Final Fantasy VII Remake and it was fun. I liked it. It was actually kind of interesting to see a game that is as old as Final Fantasy VII is and that's beloved, but is I don't know if you've tried to play Final Fantasy VII recently, but the original is basically unplayable at this point.
So
The
here's a question
yeah,
about Final Fantasy VII. I have it on my Steam. Actually, I've had it for a long time.
yeah.
My problem with Final Fantasy VII is they've remade it so many times. I don't know which version's which anymore. It feels like they've just
Well,
re-released it every 3 years or
you
something
might be
like
getting
that.
confused. So
Okay.
the remake isn't is being broken down into three parts. Um, so that may be what's confusing you. So there's uh Resident Evil remake part. That's just what it's called, but that only includes up till getting out of Midgar.
Wait. So
Um,
wait. You said Resident. You meant Final Fantasy VII
that's what I
remake?
meant. Sorry, Final Fantasy
Yeah.
Seven.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, is that's what we're talking about, right? Or
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, sorry,
Yeah.
that's what I meant. Is Final Fantasy? Yeah, the first Final Fantasy VII remake is just goes up through the point where the team escapes Midgar. Then
Okay.
the second, then they did a second one, and I don't know where that ends, but it goes through about 2/3 of the original game, and then there's still a third one that's going to come out. So they've split Final Fantasy VII into three complete games, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
The um and this so they finally are getting to the third one now. Is that what they're doing?
Well, what so what they are doing is re-releasing the first one, and they're calling it Final
Okay.
Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade or something. And that's the version that's coming to the Switch too. I don't remember
Oh,
what's different about that versus the original. I'm not defending Square Enix. Square Enix is a,
sure. Oh
you
no,
know,
they're yeah.
yeah. But if you have Square Enix remake, you don't need to play Intergrade. The differences are negligible. But the second, which one was that? Uh, the second one, which was, um, oh, Rebirth. That was the second one. So there's Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is an unfortunate title because it doesn't include the entirety of the original game. And then
Yeah.
you have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is just the second part of the remake, but then they don't include remake in the title, they call it Rebirth. And
Oh
then they
my
just
word,
did Final
man.
Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, which is just a re-release of Final Fantasy VII Remake with some additional content.
See,
The
this is where oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh, man.
The third part of the Final Fantasy VII remake is in development, but they haven't even released the title yet.
Wow, man. I mean,
Yeah,
for that, just from what you just told me right now, that convoluted maze to navigate just
yeah,
to be a completionist actually makes me not want to play it
yeah,
in a sense, right?
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
it's like the crassness of trying to just make money and do a money grab off of a beloved friend, beloved iteration of Final Fantasy. It's a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit kind of it kind of causes revulsion for me to want to even play it in a sense. But everybody swears by Final Fantasy VII. Everybody loves
Yeah,
this game, and
yeah.
it's one of those few games that kind of got past me, during that heyday where I just didn't play it. And I almost think like now should I just play it originally like in this jagged polygonal form on a PS2? Is that where it came out? I can't remember if it came out on
No,
PS1 or
PlayStation
two.
1.
Oh my word! Wow,
Yeah.
that is definitely old school. Um, but yeah, I don't know. But I don't know. Again, it's sort of like, well, if I play it, I don't know if I can put the same lens and hat on back in the day when it first came out versus now, and then maybe I should use the luxuries and the quality of life stuff they bring with Final Fantasy. But regardless, it doesn't matter. They got my money because I have it sitting on my Steam
Yeah.
account.
Yeah. There's no
The
point in going back and playing the original. Like I said, I find it to be almost unplayable at this point. It's so rudimentary. I mean, the early days of 3D graphics were great because we didn't know any better. But
yeah,
going back and playing some of those old 3D games, it's hard because these games were they were learning how to make 3D games while releasing 3D. I mean, they were building the plane while they were flying it, right?
Yeah.
And so, these games that are considered classics from a historical standpoint, you go back and try to play them in their original form, and they're basically not playable anymore,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there are best practices and standards that have emerged from 30 years of 3D game development, that were learned through the process of making these games. But the consequences is those original games are extremely rudimentary and hard to interact
Hmm.
with.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah. You really need to be a purist to want to actually go back and
yeah,
play some of
yeah,
those type of games.
yeah.
And what's funny is like I can go back and play. I could probably go back and play Metroid One, the very first one, and I'd be okay with it. It's funny how, at least, a lot of games I think have more of a tolerance for 8-bit, good old fashioned 2D type of games versus a 3D game. I don't think people have the palate for that anymore.
I mean,
I think we've been too spoiled, maybe, huh?
I also submit that 2D games hold up better than old school
Yeah.
3D
Hmm.
games. And
Yeah.
I don't have a real answer for it. But I definitely find going back and playing old Super Nintendo games more palatable than playing old Nintendo 64 games.
Hmm. Yeah. I'm
So,
I'm with you on that too. I'm the same way, and I think it might be just the design of them, and there's some sort of charm to them. And even with younger generations of gamers, they find it charming too, and they put up with it versus the weird, jaggedy,
right,
abstract art that
right.
the polygon games have. But yeah, but it's on my radar. It's on my list. I will definitely get around to playing it someday. But it might be a minute at this point. I'm still. I mean, we're early in the year, so I
Yeah.
have some time. I hope.
Oh,
Hopefully.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's plenty of time to catch up on games.
Yeah. Um,
I'm actually kind of
yeah.
going on a game hiatus right now while I try to catch up on a backlog of games that's been building uh, for a while now.
Hmm.
I
Yeah. It's
mean,
funny.
go ahead.
Yeah, they had a nice during the pre-Christmas. There was a kind of nice little winter thing kind of going on, and there's some games that I picked up on sale.
Yeah, same.
Blade on PS5, so I'll probably play that. I like those action RPG style games,
Uh-huh.
so I'll probably give that a whirl. What is that the bot game for PlayStation? The mascot,
Oh,
the bot
Astrobot.
game,
Yeah.
Astrobot. Yeah, I have that. I picked it up only because of how huge the reception was for that game, so I picked that one up. So I'm waiting. Those are waiting in the wings, but I have to just break my addiction to Balatro right now. I mean, that's my problem. Is I keep sinking hours in that stupid game. I'm obsessed. Yeah, and that's the only thing. I just cannot break away from finding the next Joker for that damn game. But yeah, it's frustrating, man. I don't think I've been this addicted to a game since Neo 2. Neo 2, I sunk in about 270 hours. I
Uh-huh.
have the same amount of hours into this game,
Wow.
into this card game.
Wow.
And then, there's no rhyme or reason to my game addiction. I just find a game and run with it. I don't know what it is, man. It's really annoying.
I'll tell you what,
You don't have that, right? You don't
no,
go through that, do you?
not really, no. But Balatro in
Whatever. Yeah.
particular, the same thing happened to that game that happens to me with all roguelikes, is
Yeah.
the randomness gets too frustrating for me.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
You know,
It's
I
definitely frustrating.
yeah, I mean, I've sunk, good 20 hours into it. So I feel like I've played it,
Yeah, you
Um
did. Yeah.
but ultimately it just like I think it was just like the fifth time I would go on just a run of losing streaks,
Yeah.
right? And just like felt like I was spinning my wheels. I was like, okay, my time value proposition is now expired on this product,
Yep.
and I
Yeah.
walked away from it. And that's what happens with basically every roguelike for me. Remember Rogue Legacy, that platformer? Where you played a knight, and every time you died, you played as that knight's ancestor, and you carried
Okay.
over with its equipment. It's more of a roguelite, not a true roguelike. But
Mm-hmm.
same thing there. Like there were just too many times where I would uh just get a seed that spawned a boss in the first room or something. I'm being somewhat hyperbolic, but you know, you just get unlucky and get thrown into the with the wolves before you're ready, and then you die instantly, and you're like, well, that was just a waste of 5 minutes, right? Um, you know, or oh, there was another one. There's a puzzle game, adventure puzzle game that's out right now called Blueprints. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good things
and
about that one. Good
I that
things.
was recommended to me, and I tried it, and I gave up almost immediately because the puzzles themselves aren't that hard. The puzzles are pretty
Mm-hmm.
easy,
Mm-hmm.
but you basically place individual rooms. Uh, as you walk through a door, a new room is generated based on a few parameters that you can control, but it's mostly random. And there
Mm-hmm.
were too many times. So, okay, like just this is an example, right? There's a dark room
Mm-hmm.
with photos in it that are critical to solving a puzzle, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to solve this puzzle, you have to spawn the generator room to be able to turn on the power to the dark room, also spawn the dark room, also spawn a room where a magnifying glass is, and items spawn randomly. So the room that had the magnifying glass in one run isn't guaranteed to have the magnifying glass in the next run,
Oh no,
right?
that's not fun.
And so
Yeah.
I solved the puzzle. The puzzle was easy. Turn on the power to the dark room, use a magnifying glass on the photo to get the code, right? I mean, it was dead simple. I solved the puzzle in 2 seconds, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it took me forever to get the solution because you had to have the generator room spawn, the dark room spawn, the a room with the magnifying glass spawn, and you had to have all of that happen in a single run, right? And I it happened to me one time. And so I solved the puzzle,
Mm-hmm.
and what I unlocked was not that useful. and
Great.
and I was like, nope, I'm done with this game. And I quit. Like
And
I
that's
played
it.
it for about 3 hours. I'm like, nope, I'm done. Ripcord on this one. Not doing this.
Oh man.
I have a very, very low tolerance for RNG
Yeah.
padding a game's length. Right?
Yeah. I envy that about your innate ability to do that. I wish I had that because it's for me. I'm a masochist, and
Yeah.
I'll keep going and going and going until I literally the last time this happened to me, I played Monster Train. I don't know if you played Monster Train.
I've looked at it. I've
Another
never played it, but yes, it's the same kind of
excellent,
deal.
yeah, excellent game. There's RNG to it and everything else. I sunk in 200 plus hours, probably as much as Neo, which is not an RNG. It's
No,
a skill
right? It's a
action game, but
skill-based
yet,
game. Yeah.
yeah. But I had to uninstall the game because I just realized that I'm never gonna play another game in my life again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Mm-hmm.
at that point now with Valitro, like where I'm debating, do I uninstall this game? Because every day, every morning, it's part of my ritual. I'll have coffee, make my breakfast, and sit down and play a couple of rounds of
Yeah.
gold stake, red deck right now, and I can't. I'm stuck on it, and I don't know what it is, and it's terrible. Everything you're just saying about it, the RNG aspect of it, it's there,
Right.
and I know it. I'm aware of
Right.
it.
Right.
Here I keep going. I'm the
Right.
perfect person for those gambling addicts like that go to Vegas to just keep pulling that one-armed bandit thing.
Right.
I swear I have it in me, but it's just different. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's
I just have a very low tolerance for luck. And so any
yeah,
game where
yeah.
luck is a huge component of it, I get bored very quickly. Right.
So here, okay, so I hear you, but here's the thing: Mario Kart has luck, right? But
Sure.
yet, but yet you have a way of you're okay with that, but
I
with the
mean,
Baltro,
you've listened to me complain about how broken Mario Kart
sure,
World is.
sure, of course, but you got a lot more value and
Mileage. Yeah,
time out of
because
that
there
game.
is
Yeah,
because
there's other
like
stuff to it, right?
yeah,
That's
there's
why
a
there's
lot more
other
of this.
aspects to it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So what you're saying is, if the RNG is the core skeletal system of the game, it becomes problematic
Yeah.
later on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I totally hear you.
I mean, you can't eliminate
Yeah,
luck entirely from anything.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but game like roguelikes and roguelites are built around luck. They're built around the
yeah,
RNG, right?
yeah,
The
yeah,
RNG is what comes first, and then the game is what is balanced against that number generator. And
mm,
those are the
mm,
games that, like, I liked Balatro. I again played it for a good 10 or 20 hours.
yeah,
Because for that time, it felt like despite the RNG, I was still making progress. And I pulled the ripcord when I started feeling like the RNG was causing me to spin my wheels, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
so,
You,
as long as you can make me feel like I'm still getting something out of the experience rather than, oh shit, oh well, the jokers I
yeah,
got basically guarantee that I can't get anywhere on this one,
yeah,
Um, as long as you can keep me with the feeling that I'm making progress, then I'll tolerate the RNG. The problem is
yeah,
that most games, that is about 2 to 3 hours for me.
yeah. It's weird for me. It's like if you give me if you give me a 3% chance, what that's telling me is you're telling me there's a chance,
Right.
and I click on keep playing it.
Yeah,
And I keep
yeah.
it's
I'm
so
the
frustrating, man.
exact opposite. I look at it as like, wait, so there's a
Oh
97% chance that I'm gonna fail? I'll go
yeah,
do
and
something
I think
else.
it's and that's reasonable. I wish I
Yeah.
had that, but I
Yeah.
don't. I just flip the other way. I'm always the eternal optimist when it comes to the masochism stuff. It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I live vicariously through you through some of your games because I know Eric will probably be playing something else by now, and I'll learn about it later. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, but I do have to hang it up on Balatro at some point and move on. Like I said, I have a whole stack of other games to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe that's part of my later belated New Year's resolution is just
Well,
to
yeah.
maybe start rotating other games in, or I don't know yet. I have to
Well,
figure out a schedule.
that's why I sunset Xenoblade Chronicles X. I mean, even though realistically I am, from a content standpoint, about 85% of the way through the game,
Mm-hmm,
to to get the last 15% is going to take another 10 to 15 hours. And
mm-hmm.
I just did the cost benefit analysis. Is another 10 to 15 hours of
Yeah,
gameplay worth the 15% of the game that I haven't seen yet? And I decided, no, not right now. I'm gonna be getting on a
yeah,
plane in March, and it's a 2.5, 3 hour flight each direction
mm-hmm,
to Boston, and so I will, you know, I'll revisit it then. It'll be a good 6 hours to kill, and that'll get me most of the way to where I need to be to finish it. But
yeah,
right now, I'm
yeah,
just saying, I hopped back on the Animal Crossing train because Nintendo just did
yeah,
a big 3.0 update, and I've been enjoying that and rediscovering a game that might be the absolute antithesis to roguelikes. there is
yeah, yeah,
there is like,
yeah.
that game is permanence the game, right? you know there's,
Yeah, I mean,
other than the randomness of what items show up in the store, which,
mm-hmm,
as you progress, even that becomes less of an issue.
mm-hmm,
um there is almost no randomness in that game whatsoever. There's even the components that have a random element, there is almost a way to work around that, right?
and that's what ties into the comfy aspect of the game. It's
Right.
a comfort to know that you don't have to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. And that
So,
I mean, and I know you're a huge Animal Crossing fan, so maybe we'll save that for next week's stream.
yeah,
Um,
that's fine.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll have fully
I,
digested the new content by then anyway. I'm still like
it's
catching up on it.
yeah, it's interesting though. I mean, we can leave with this. I'm pretty much wrapped up with the animation. I might as well
Okay.
talk about it real quick.
Yeah.
We did the basic poses tonight. So here she is. She samples it. She's
Uh-huh.
hesitant, and then then she
Yeah,
smiles.
yeah.
But I have to play the timing here because what happens is she'll sample it, and she has to kind of eat it for a little bit, kind of
Yeah,
digest it,
yeah,
and then go
yeah.
into being happy to eat it
Ooh,
and eat it
right,
really
right,
fast.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've got to still kind of fit in that, but the basic motions for her to eat the stuff is there. I
Okay.
might fiddle with a little bit with the frames, but if you notice when I play it in real time, it almost looks like she's eating it for the most
Oh
part. So I
yeah,
need to
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of
It's not
yeah,
bad. It's close. Yeah.
yeah, it's close, but I have to still kind of finagle with it a little bit, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Okay.
the basic nuts and bolts are there for her to be
Cool.
sampling vittles for the first time. So I think we're in pretty good shape for that.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
but
Well,
back to
yeah, you said you.
Animal Crossing. Now, yeah, I was gonna pause for a second, but Animal Crossing, oddly enough, is the internets are kind of angry with the update. It seems like the general
I
feeling
mean
is people are kind of disappointed with it. I
the
don't
internet
understand
is
why.
up. The internet is always
I
angry
know,
about everything.
yeah, I
Basically,
know.
what it's angry about is not the update. People have universally loved.
Okay.
There's a ton of new content in the free update. The
Hmm.
Switch 2 upgrade, which for the record only costs $5, so it's not
Mm-hmm.
breaking the bank.
Okay.
Um, only includes uh, a 4K resolution option, uh, a new bullhorn item that allows you to find one of your townies anywhere in your town, because that's
Okay.
always Animal Crossing. One of the frustrating things is like, oh, I need to go talk to Rick. Where the fuck is Rick? And you have to like walk over the whole town. With this item, you
Mm-hmm.
just go, hey Rick, where are you? And it goes, Rick is over
And
here, and you right.
okay. All right.
And it just uses the onboard speaker of the Switch. So you just say Rick, and then it'll call back to you, right?
That's cool.
It is
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
It works okay. I wish it worked better. They added mouse controls for the home designing portion, which, if I'm being honest, aren't great. It's kind of a half implementation. They didn't really like lean into it. If they had really committed to the full mouse, like so instance, you can use the mouse to move items around within the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then the second you go into your inventory screen to select a new item, the mouse turns off and you have to use the thumbsticks
Oh,
again.
so
And
it's
it's just
sort of
like,
like a half.
well,
Yeah.
that's
So
yeah,
what's the
like
point?
what's the point? Right. If the only time I
Yeah.
can use the mouse is in that, then this is worthless. And so,
Yeah,
yeah,
it sounds half baked.
that was disappointing. And then um and yeah, so those are like the three oh and they increased the multiplayer count on the Switch 2 to up to 12.
Okay.
And added voice chat and video chat to it. Which is great if it were 2020 and everybody was still
Mm-hmm.
playing Animal Crossing,
Yeah.
but it's not 2020 anymore. So yeah, the Switch 2 exclusive features, yeah, is it
Okay.
was it is $5 too much for it? No, $5 is fine.
Yeah.
$5 is worth it just for the better resolution on my giant TV, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm.
And so the other gimmicky stuff, which I don't really use that much, doesn't really bother me. So yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, people are just complaining that the Switch 2 upgrade doesn't really include that much stuff, and the stuff that it does include isn't that great, which is reasonable.
Okay.
Is it fair? It's fair. Is the internet overreacting? Well, yeah, because that's the only thing the internet is capable of doing. But
Yeah. I
their
mean,
basic complaints are valid.
mm-hmm.
But
Well,
the
more.
3.0, the main 3.0 update is phenomenal. It's got a ton of new content, ton of quality of life feature improvements.
So when
Really,
you're saying,
really worth it.
so you're saying the 3.0 update
Yeah.
is for the Switch 1 and 2, pretty
Yes.
much, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, I guess we'll learn more about that next week.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still digesting it, but I'll definitely have more to share on that for sure.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Well,
Um,
yeah.
I think we're in a pretty good spot for tonight. As far as wrapping up.
Well,
Yeah.
one last thing I would be remiss. So I got this as a Christmas present from Katie. Um, it is
I was gonna comment on
a
it.
Nintendo cardigan, and it's hard to see, but on the back it's got all of the Nintendo Mario characters as snow people. So it's got a Princess Peach, Mario, Yoshi, Toad, Snowman. So yes, it's very warm too and very comfy.
At first, I thought it was a kimono and or a smoker's jacket. I was expecting you to pull out a pipe, or something.
I mean, I could go get my pipe and it would look great with the cardigan.
That's cool. That's a really cool little gift. That's
Yeah,
it's
very nice. I like the little
yeah,
snow
awesome.
on the top of the question
yeah,
block.
that's rad.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
So,
Cool.
but yeah, I think that's a pretty good place to wrap it up. So we'll call it quits there. If you catching us at some point, why don't you head on over to calamityjane.rocks. That'll take you to our Patreon site, and you can become a subscriber and help us make this cartoon a reality. We're also on YouTube and Facebook, which you presumably already know since you're watching the stream. And we also have an Instagram at Calamity Jane, or at Calamity Jane Salamander. where we also post updates and things. So just a lot of different places for you to grab updates and take a look at stuff. But in the meantime, we'll be back next week. Things are settling down for me finally, so I'll be a more consistent and regular schedule again, at least for 2 months. And then I'll be out for a week again, but we'll talk that as we get into March. In the meantime, have a great night, everybody, and stay safe out there. Good night.
Good night.